And presenting our flag today is the Renegade Militia. Tonight's national anthem will be sung by R&B star Lisa Bello. Lisa was born and raised in Boston and is an award-winning R&B singer-songwriter who infuses her performance with the soul, swagger, and depth of feeling that make up the roots of this East Coast bred artist's singular style. Please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
Mic isn't working.
Oh, that's not good. You should have tested it out sooner. Yep.
Did she turn it on?
I don't know. Did she turn it on? I noticed. Let's turn it on.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Happy Pride, everybody. Let's go.
He came out and he kept that Boston guy and he went like this. He the third. Like it.
Tap the Boston player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go, Renegades!
We welcome you onto John A. McCarthy Memorial Field inside of Harry Della Russo Stadium in Revere, Massachusetts. On a beautiful Saturday evening, it's the New York Wolves visiting the defending WFA champs, the Boston Renegades. Both teams coming into this evening's matchup following a loss last time out. New York fell 51-6 to the Pittsburgh Passion in Pittsburgh, while the Boston Renegades suffered defeat on the road in a championship rematch to the St. Louis Slam, 36-27. Can the Wolves pounce on the wounded Renegades team, or can Boston bounce back? We'll start with the Wolves getting possession off the kickoff from the Renegades. Back to receive the kick was Brianna Montalvo, along with Nehemiah Outlaw.
Wolves will be starting off at their own
It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line here for New York. A new look New York team, formerly the New York Sharks. And dropping back, looking for a pass to the left side. It was intended for Montalvo, but it looked like Danielle Ayala was rushed there on the play. Good break from the defensive line from the Renegades, and they'll start now 2nd and 10 from the 32.
Ayala's pass falls incomplete, brings up 2nd down and 10.
Ayala has been the starter for the Wolves. Every game this season, they come in 1-2, lost their last 2 matchups. Going to be a handoff through the middle, inside handoff, and met after a couple of yards. In on the tackle for the Renegades was Naloti Palma Kaluma. Naloti has been a huge addition for the Renegades. They're in the middle. Third and 9 coming up from the 33-yard line. Looks like there was some movement early on, and New York might have moved first, and it will be a false start against the Wolves, and that will send them back 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 14.
Brings up 3rd down and 14.
Boston already sending the pressure here early on. St. Louis was able to capitalize against this Renegades defense, something we have not seen in a very long time. So 3rd and 14 from the 28-yard line. Ayala calls for the snap, gets it. Shotgun formation, she looks, she has time. Pass through the hands there of Montalvo. Had her intended target, but Brianna Montalvo could not hang on. And that's going to be a turnover on downs here for the New York Wolves. Excuse me, 4th and 14 is going to send out the punt unit. Look like it's going to be Jennifer Velez back there to punt it away. Good snap for Velez. Got a good boot on it, and she will send it past Kylie O'Connor-Harrell, but she does a really good job fielding it on the bounce tonight. Now taken down inside the 50-yard line. O'Connor-Harrell with a great job recovering that kick after it bounced past her. She gained a couple of yards from where it bounced initially. 46-yard line for Boston, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Renegades. Offense scored 27 points against St. Louis. Points weren't the issue. The offense, again, able to find its way to the end zone. For Boston, it was giving up 36 points to that St. Louis Slam team. 1st and 10. Screen pass to the right side. And maybe a gain of an inch there to the outside. It was Meg McFadden trying to get it over to Katie Falkowski. Well, we were talking about the points given up to St. Louis. It was the most points given up by the Renegades since 2022 against DC, where they gave up 32. McFadden again back to pass it. Another great block in front. And Falkowski will pick up a couple of more yards. So the Renegades trying to utilize the screenplay here early on. 2 passes to Katie Falkowski, and it'll be 3rd and short coming up for the Renegades. Boston going quick here. McFadden in shotgun. Hands it off through the middle. Good blockers in front, and picking up the 1st down is Katie Falkowski. Oh, a flag comes in late on the play as well. So it looks like a face mask penalty is coming up. It looks like it's going to be against New York. Might be a face mask or a horse collar. It is going to be a face mask here against New York. So automatic 1st down for the Renegades, who have moved during this drive with Meg McFadden at the helm. Looks like they'll set up 1st and 10 for the Renegades at the 20-yard line. McFadden, shotgun formation. Here's a quick pass here inside to Pasquale. Pasquale cuts it back inside, now to the outside, has some blockers. Pasquale gets tackled and into the end zone. Stephanie Pasquale, an opening drive touchdown for the Renegades. Stephanie Pasquale, the team's leader in touchdowns, coming into today with 6, adds 7 to her resume this season. And a great run after the catch for Pasquale, had some blockers in front. And it's an early lead here for Boston. Looks like a flag here on the kick.
There is a flag on the field.
Maggie Barden, extra point is good, but there is some laundry out on the field. So we'll wait the official word here. It looks like the Renegades are going to accept this as the Renegades militia sends off the loud booms here in Revere to get our Saturday night started. So Boston, in the opening 5 minutes, gets on the board. Stephanie Pasquale and Katie Falkowski leading the charge. Great passing and leadership on that drive from Meg McFadden. We'll see if Boston goes with the split at QB here today. It's a New York team that comes in after winning the D2 championship just a year ago. Trying to elevate here to the pro division, have only scored 26 points this season, averaging 8.7 points per game. They've allowed 106 points in 3 games. That's 35.3 on the year per game. 1-2 on the season. Their first game of the year was a victory against the Detroit Venom, 20-14. They eked out that win at home. Then they welcomed in the Baltimore Nighthawks. Baltimore with a 41-0 victory back on May 4th. On May 18th, it was the Wolves traveling to Pittsburgh for their first road game of the season, and Pittsburgh looks to be a prime contender here in the WFA, 51-6. And here's a good field off the kickoff and met at the 50-yard line. A great job back there, fielding it and then seeing a hole. That was Nehemiah Outlaw again. And she picks up good field position for the Wolves.
On the carry, on that reception, brings up first down at Boston's 48-yard line.
Well, Fabian Alessandro might be happy here with the field position. Head coach for the New York Wolves. They'll have the DC Divas and then a rematch against the Baltimore Nighthawks to close out the season. Ayala again in shotgun formation, has the running back to her left. Has some time again, but airs this one to the near side, off the hands again. Great throw by Ayala. Just could not complete it to Perota. Alexis Parada had it in the breadbasket, just could not hold on. Beautiful throw by Ayala, who just put that one right in the hands. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for the Wolves. You can see New York has the makings of some really good talent. Ayala at quarterback. Gabby Farrell on the defensive side. Ayala will scramble to the left. Has some time. Now some pressure through the middle. Had to throw it away. Good pressure there from Boston. It was Smith coming in.
With pressure from number 39, D. Smith. Brings up 3rd down and 10.
So 3rd and 10 for New York. Second time they've been faced with a 3rd down in just their second drive of the game. 12-11 remaining here in the first quarter. Boston leading 7-0 after Stephanie Pasquale's touchdown. The extra point by Barden was good, although there was a flag on the play. Ayala trapped in a hole. She'll run now, trying to pick up some yardage. Scrambles back out to the left side, tried to turn the corner, but was tackled on the outside. It was a great job closing the gap by Darcy Leslie.
That brings up 4th down.
Darcy Leslie closing in on the team lead in tackles, trying to catch up with Kara Guy-Lunis. So 4th down coming up. It looks like New York will keep the offense out on the field. Ayala again in shotgun formation. The running back to her left is Tiara Howard. Ayala now on 4th down, looks to scramble. She has a lane, but quickly met there. Oh, what a great job meeting her, the aforementioned Karagai Lunis.
Initially tackled by number 32, a little help from.
So a turnover on downs by the defense for Boston. And I think the lessons were learned in St. Louis, as Boston has shut it down here early in the first 5 minutes. New York looked promising, but it's the Renegades defense that stands tall. So 1st and 10, it will be Meg McFadden again at quarterback. Sends the receiver in motion. Handoff to Dumont. Dumont now breaks the tackle. Dumont stays on her feet, trying to break another tackle, but is taken down at the 48-yard line. Kashani Dumont, a great inside handoff there from McFadden, and Dumont saw a hole and took it. Boston again getting the calls from the near sideline. It was a Renegades team that back in 2018 was faced with 2 losses on the year and ended up winning the championship, as this one's handed to Katie Falkowski. Now she has an opportunity to break it to the outside, but is tackled nicely on the outside after picking up the 1st down. Good tackle from number 18, Nandi Brown.
Picks up the 1st down.
Brown, part of that defense we were talking about with Gabby Farrell and plenty of others for the Wolves that have really made strides after winning the D2 championship last year. Knew they had some tough competition this year, trying to elevate to the pro division. Adrian Smith out there on the left side, the wide receiver. McFadden looking for Pasquale, looking for a wide receiver screen. And now Pasquale stiff arms a defender, picks up the 1st down, and Stephanie Pasquale finally taken down by a gang of Wolves at the 30-yard line.
Number 3, Stephanie Pasquale, and that is good for a Boston Renegades. 1st down.
Pasquale picking up her 7th touchdown of the year on the opening drive for the Renegades. Picks up the 1st down there for Boston. McFadden again. This time has Ruth Mata. Fakes it. Outside. Good job there staying on her feet. It was Maggie Barden, I believe.
McFadden with the fake. Hands off to number 88, Maggie Barden.
So Barden kicking today and now picking up an inside handoff. Wide receiver reverse. 1st and 10. Barden again in motion. Fakes it this time. Handoff to Mata. Mata faked everybody out. Here's Mata looking for the end zone. Mata rushing in. Touchdown Renegades. The Rocket strikes in Revere. Ruth Mata picks up the touchdown, her 3rd touchdown of the season. And welcome back, Ruth. So Barden, who played a big role on that drive here for the Renegades to increase the lead to 13-0, back to kick with 9:07 remaining in the 1st quarter. Snap is high. Barden had to readjust. Line drive kick is blocked here by the Wolves. Oh, it's kicked towards the end zone. And now New York just trying to run it out.
Barden's kick is blocked.
So 13-0. Just the 2nd missed kick of the year for Maggie Barden. Came into today 14 of 15. Was 15 of 16 before that block.
Not sure if you know, the Boston Renegades.
So it'll be a 13-0 lead here for the Boston Renegades on their annual Pride Games, celebrating Pride here with the Boston Renegades and the New York Wolves. You are loved, you are seen, you are heard. Thank you for tuning in to Boston Renegades football here on Revere TV.
Boston Renegades banner, located across from the merch stand.
First quarter, 9:07 remaining here between Boston and New York. A 13-0 lead for the Renegades. The Wolves 0 for 2 on their opening two drives, a punt and a turnover on downs, while Boston 2 for 2 on their two opportunities. A receiving touchdown for Stephanie Pasquale and a rushing touchdown for Ruth Mata. It's a new look Boston Renegades team with no longer Allison Cahill at the helm at quarterback. That hits off of the first Wolves player there at the line, the onside kick for the Renegades. Maybe an unintentional onside kick for Boston, and they get it on the recovery. That one just looked like it was rocketed off the legs of, there's no 72 on the roster, but I believe that's Elizabeth Melly. There are two 71s, and I believe it should be a 72 there. And Elizabeth Melly was the one trying to field it. It does look like that is Melly out there. So Melly, who's number 72 on the roster, got that one hit right off the inside shin on the boot from Barden. Came right back to the special teams for Boston, and they will have a third possession here. McFadden looking downfield, tries to get it to Barden. Oh, did she catch it? No, it falls incomplete. Threw it in some traffic.
Intended for number 88, Maggie Barden, but falls incomplete.
But Meg McFadden has continued to develop confidence here this season. This time she stepped into that throw. Little wobbly, but knew she wanted to get it to Barden. Barden, with her height, had the advantage there against the two defensive backs. So it'll be 2nd and 10 here for the Renegades. McFadden again looks for Adrian Smith. Smith picks up the reception, breaks the tackle, gets spun down after a gain of about 2 yards.
Number 10, Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith, who spent the week this week talking with our friends over at WBUR. And Daryl Hayes, a great interview talking about the Boston Renegades and women's football here in Boston. Did a great job talking about her life story. Check it out on WBUR. Adrian Smith, the all-time WFA leader in receptions. Fake pass here to Barden. It's handed off inside to Mata. Mata's going to pick up the first down after being taken down. A good tackle on the inside from Nandi Brown.
That's good for a Boston Renegades first down.
So Brown has done a great job preventing two breakout runs with two really great tackles. She's been assigned to the far side with Kashani Dumont. So Nandi Brown, keep an eye on 1-8 for the Wolves. McFadden, quick pass, nice target pass through the middle. It's caught. A couple of Wolves will make the tackle. In on the play was Harmeen Christina Leo.
McFadden's pass complete to 88, Barden.
So Barden has been the favorite target so far here for Meg McFadden in the first quarter.
6 on that play brings up 2nd down and 4.
2nd down and 4 for the Renegades. McFadden sends Mata in motion. All alone, McFadden has time. Looking to the outside, tries to get it over to Smith. She makes the catch. Adrian Smith is going to run for a touchdown.
Pass complete to number 10, Adrian Smith.
Renegades back-to-back touchdowns, and this time it's a bomb to Adrian Smith. She breaks a tackle on her way to the end zone, and there is a flag. It looks like it's going to be holding against the Wolves, so this will stand as a touchdown for the Boston Renegades, and they've increased their lead to 19-0 here over New York.
Boom.
How about the confidence there for Meg McFadden? Wanted to find Adrian Smith. Gets it to the all-time leading reception leader. And Adrian Smith does the rest. How about that? After a week of doing press interviews. She gets a touchdown here in the second game at home at Harry Della Russo Stadium. Adrian Smith continues to add to her resume. Barden, after a little fumbled snap, gets the kick up and good. So 20-0 here for the Renegades. That play started on the onside kick that favored the Renegades. Adrian Smith caps it off with the touchdown. Meg McFadden again, a great pass, and it's 20-0 over New York.
With 7:12 left in the first quarter, we'd like to give a big welcome to our partners. Family Dinner, Ward Construction, Free Media Web, Trillium Asset Management, and iCapital.
If you got to join us before the game, you heard the national anthem sung by R&B star Lisa Bello. Lisa was born in Boston and is an award-winning R&B singer-songwriter who infuses her performances with soul, swagger, and depth, a feeling that makes up the roots of her East Coast-bred artist's singular style. She's written songs for hundreds of artists across the globe and uses her voice beyond music through her activism in the community. Lisa is known and recognized for a lifetime of songwriting, vocal ability, and humanitarianism. After being awarded the John Lennon Songwriting Contest in the hip-hop category, Boston Music Awards Female Vocalist of the Year, and R&B Vocalist of the Year, to her amazing list of accolades. It's the second time Lisa Bello has blessed the Renegades with her voice for the national anthem. Also joined us last year here in Revere. Another kick. This is going to be squibbed, and just jumping on it there are the Wolves at about the 45-yard line. Looks like that was 17 there for the Wolves. Faith Robinson who picks it up.
Will be taking over at their 45-yard line.
So Danielle Ayala looked promising on the last drive. The Wolves went for it on fourth down. They were stopped by the Renegades on a great tackle by Kara Gailunas. 20-0 to lead. Third possession here for New York. They hand it off inside, and Tiara Howard picks up about 4 yards, maybe 3 on the play.
Hand off to Howard, number 3.
So Ayala again in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Renegades don't show pressure. They send the inside, but Ayala does a good job sidestepping the tackle. Looked like Deanna Walsh was in there, broke through the line, just couldn't wrap her up. And Ayala on the scramble gets maybe a yard.
53, but taken down by number 19, Lisa Vincent.
So Lisa Vincent with the tackle. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Wolves. New York sideline trying to encourage the offense out on the field. Ayala drops back, passes through the hands. Again, looking on the near side. This time, it was Gina Capardi.
Ayala's pass falls incomplete, intended.
Looks like New York going to stay out there again offensively.
Brings up 4th down and 5.
Receivers that have had great opportunities. Ayala has been able to find the open receivers. It's just been right off the hands or drop passes here in the first quarter. More pressure on Ayala. Leslie gets in, but Leslie might have gotten too much contact there. Darcy Leslie may be called with a pass interference. Again, this pass intended for Capardi. So maybe just too much contact from Leslie, and this is going to give New York an automatic first down. So that is the call out on the field.
Number 45, Leslie. Automatic first down for New York.
Daytona Smith back out there, checks in here on the defensive side. 1st and 10 for the Wolves. Ayala fakes a pass, now looks downfield, has a receiver open, almost intercepted. Brianna Gallo
Had
that one on her hands.
Incomplete, but right beside her was number 24.
Ayala trying to force that one in to Amani Thompson. Thompson was right there in on the play, but Brianna Gallo, who's always trying to ball hawk back there, makes up a good play here for the Renegades defense. 2nd and 10 coming up. Ayala, pressure from behind, passes it before she was hit. Again, it's Deanna Walsh coming in.
Ayala intended pass to number 2, Party, falls incomplete, brings up 3rd down and 10.
3rd and 10 coming up for the Wolves. Ball on the 45-yard line. 5:51 remaining here in the first quarter. Renegades lead it 20-0. Stephanie Pasquale with the touchdown. Ruth Mata and Adrian Smith with back-to-back touchdowns here for the Renegades. Leslie and Vincent will switch. Now Vincent going to support there in the safety position. Ayala rolls out to the right. Ayala facing some pressure. She's wrapped up, and she's taken down on the sack by D. Smith. And look at the celly there for D. Smith. 4th down and long coming up here for the Wolves. Well, Boston hasn't sent the pressure too much or too often here in the first, but that defensive line has found holes against the Wolves' offensive line and has been able to put Ayala under pressure. And looks like they'll send out the punting unit again. 2nd punt coming up for New York. Good snap. Another one booted downfield. A great kick by Parada. And this one's going to bounce all the way back. This is going to be one of the best punts on the year for Alexis Parada. Puts the Renegades inside the 10-yard line.
On the Boston Renegades, looks like 6-yard line.
So Parada, who's handled both snaps really well, able to send both punts past.
Don't forget to
It was O'Connor Harrell on the first punt who made up for the long kick. After fielding it on the ground, she was able to pick it up on a bounce, rush for about a gain of 14, 15 yards to bring it back out towards the 45-yard line. But now Boston will start inside their own 10-yard line at about the 6. So 1st and 10 from the 6 for the Renegades. Pasquale in motion. Hand it off on the inside to Salters, and she will take it for a rush through the middle. Latoya Salters seeing some action now. So the Renegades started off with Katie Falkowski. They used Ruth Mata on the 2nd and 3rd drive, and now it's Latoya Salters seeing some action. Shows you the depth there at the running back position here for the Boston Renegades. McFadden gets the snap. Handoff inside again. This is to Mata, it looks like, and she's taken down after a gain of about 8 yards, so it looks like it's enough for a 1st down.
Taken down by number 10, Jane Crosby. But that scramble was good for a Boston.
So Crosby
Renegades
in on the
first
tackle.
down.
Wolves trying to stop the bleeding here in the first quarter. A 20-0 lead for Boston. McFadden again going quickly, hands it off to Pasquale. Pasquale sidesteps, now breaks a couple of tackles, high steps a tackler, and now taken down at about the 25-yard line. So Pasquale comes inside, picks up about 8.
Pickup of roughly 8 yards brings up 2nd down and 2.
So ball on the 25. Renegades trying to get some calls from the sideline here, and head coach John Johnson. Pasquale heading to the sideline. So it looks like Dumont. No, it's not going to be Dumont. It's going to be Falkowski. Renegades running out of time here. Look like maybe an injury sub there as Pasquale's coming up a little limpy. But this one, again, a 1st down rush.
Hand off to 28, Salters. And with that run,
Another 1st
it is
down
good.
here
Run
for the
out.
Renegades.
Boston Renegades, 1st down.
We told you Boston's defense has really stepped it up this year. Even though their defense has been phenomenal year after year, they've been able, minus the game against St. Louis, to really shut down their opponents, including the Alabama Fire the last time they were here at home. Renegades an off and on schedule this year. They started the season on the road against Tampa Bay. Had their first home game here against the Alabama Fire, but here's a breakout run. O'Connor Harrell, she's breaking through, and she will make it to the end zone. Kylie O'Connor Harrell breaks it open here for the Renegades. Out of nowhere, gets the opportunity and makes the most of it. Just weaves her way through the defense and picks up a booming touchdown for the Renegades. What a touchdown from O'Connor Harrell, and that's going to put the Renegades on top 26-0. What a statement from Boston after their 42-game win streak was snapped the last time out against St. Louis.
Kick is good. Get ready for that boom.
Stephanie Pasquale said it's an opportunity to reset, and it looks like the Renegades are resetting here in Revere. 27-0 after the Maggie Barden kick. Stephanie Pasquale, Ruth Mata, Adrian Smith, and Kylie O'Connor Harrell with touchdowns for the Renegades. A 27-0 lead for Boston. Now New York will have to come up with a response. Renegades only allowing 14 points per game. They've allowed 42 points on the season, 36 of which came against St. Louis. Prior to that loss against St. Louis, the win streak for Boston dated back to June 2nd of 2018. The Renegades hadn't lost a game since June of 2018. That win streak started with a 42-0 win over the Baltimore Nighthawks. They ended that season with a championship over the Los Angeles Warriors, 42-18, and another high bounce, but great job coming in to play that one from Outlaw. So a couple of the kicks today from the Renegades have given New York some troubles. And back to that win streak here for Boston, 42 consecutive wins. They scored 2,335 total points during the streak. They only allowed, to that 2,335, 491 points during that streak, which is an average of 11.7 points allowed in over 4 or 5 years for the Renegades. Ayala, back to pass, has some time. She'll scramble inside here to the near side and run out of bounds after picking up about 5 yards.
Who was eventually forced out of bounds by number 39, D. Smith.
They outscored their opponents during that streak by 1,844. Just incredible what they were able to do over the span of 42 games dating back to June of 2018. During that time, they beat the DC Divas 12 times, which was their most common opponent. And this one bobbled but nicely corralled here on the near side by Parada. And Parada will pick up some yards here, bringing up a 3rd and close for the Wolves.
Ayala's pass complete to number 8.
No, they will give the first down. So first down coming up for the Wolves.
Is good for a New York Wolves first down.
So Parada just gets enough, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 50. So 1st and 10 for New York. Ayala drops back, has time, has a receiver wide open, and connects Almost dropped. It was dropped. And did she pick it up? It looks like Montalvo was able to get it. No, it's the Renegades. Boston with the recovery.
Number 3, Montalvo, but fumble on the play. Boston recovers.
Brianna
Boston,
Montalvo
first down.
had it, tried to turn, but the Renegades defense strips it.
During this
Another
change of
fumble
possession,
recovery here for the Renegades.
to home base. Home base, we thank local veterans and active duty and military families for their monthly
So
adventure
Montalvo, who's been so solid for the New York Wolves this season offensively, drops that one and gives the Renegades another possession.
wellness programs, community outreach, education, and research.
5th possession here in the opening quarter for Boston. Looks like a new quarterback in there for Boston. Jackie Lane throws an interception. Picked off on the near side from Brown. We told you Nandi Brown has been a ball hawk here for the Wolves and picks off Jackie Lane on the first pass attempt from Lane here in the first quarter. So Jackie Lane turns it over for the Renegades, and now the Wolves basically picking up right where they left off after the fumble from Montalvo. Ayala fakes the handoff, rolls out to the right. Ayala looking for a receiver, trying to find something downfield, and she's tackled. That ball pops out, and did it get to the sideline? It looks like it did, so it's going to stay with New York. Another great tackle from Smith and Darcy Leslie. So both combined for the tackle there, and it'll bring up 2nd and about 15, maybe 14 for New York.
On that play brings up 2nd down and roughly 13 yards.
So that's going to bring us to the end of the quarter here in Revere. We'll step aside with the Boston Renegades leading the New York Wolves 27-0. 2nd and 13 coming up from Harry Della Russo Stadium to start the second quarter.
Let's give a big wave and round of applause to our Renegades militiamen. Here tonight, serving on the militia, Jim McLean, Danny Higgins, and Dwight Dixon. Thank you, gentlemen. We love the boom.
Ayala will take the snap here to start the second quarter. Pass intended again on the near side for Parada. Parada could not catch up with that one. 3rd and 14 coming up.
3rd and 14.
Ball on the 42-yard line. Wolves trying to get to the 28 of Boston. Ayala, high snap. Looks for a hole. Nice pass here again on the inside. Montalvo holds on the big tackle there by Spring Gamble.
Number 2, Gina Capardi. Who was immediately met, I do believe, by number 23, Spring Gamble. Not quite enough for a first, though. Brings up 4th down and a plenty.
Fourth down, and the Wolves going for it. Ayala, again, drops back. Nice dart throw, and it looks like it's going to be enough forward progress for the first down. Forward progress is going to give New York just their second first down of the game, and they are moving towards Renegades,
Complete to number 8, Alexis Parada.
towards that Renegades end zone.
That is good for a New York first down.
So Ayala getting more comfortable there with the time she's given from that offensive line. Good block as well through the middle from Howard to give Ayala some time there. 1st and 10 from the 32. Quick throw here on the near sideline for Capardi. Capardi's going to rush to the out-of-bounds marker and rushes out after picking up some yardage there. So Capardi and Montalvo, the ones really causing a havoc here against the Renegades defense to start the second quarter.
Gain of roughly 6 on the play brings up 2nd down and 4 or 5.
So Fabian Alessandro, the head coach and offensive coordinator, trying to mix it up here in the second. Ayala with some time, has plenty of time now, looks to the right, now checks the left. Ayala trying to end it to the end zone. Oh, what a catch! Capardi falling to her back, makes the catch. Another first down here for the Wolves.
Good for a first down.
So Gina Capardi had a couple of drops in the first. She has found her rhythm here in the second. Looks like they're going to try to match up Guy Lunis here with Capardi now. Gary Guy Lunis, who spent some time in the broadcast booth for Harvard Athletics this past season. And there's a quarterback sneak. Ayala trying to rush it through that heavy defensive line for the Renegade. Did she get in? No, it's just short, looks like.
Quarterback keeper looks like she was denied. Brings up 2nd down and goal.
Ayala just trying to run in there and force her way through. Renegade's going to send some more bodies through the middle. Another quick snap here for Ayala. She dives forward. Touchdown, Wolves!
Quarterback keeper, that's good for a touchdown.
So New York responds and gets on the board. Great catches from Brianna Montalvo, especially after the fumble. And then Gina Capardi with 2 really great plays to get the Wolves in the red zone. And then Ayala does the rest. Danielle Ayala with the rushing touchdown puts 6 points on the board here for New York. Back to kick is Laquise, and Laquise will get the extra point.
And the kick is good.
Excuse me, it's actually Brooke Singer. Brooke Singer is the one doing the kicking here for the New York Wolves, and Singer gets the extra point for New York. So Danielle Ayala picks up the opening touchdown for the Wolves, and they strike first here in the second quarter.
Especially like a varsity playoff game.
27-7 is the score here in Revere. New York will get ready for the kickoff. The Renegades on the kick return have Kashani Dumont and Kylie O'Connor Harrell back to field the kick. Looks like New York was shorthanded a player, so quickly making her way to the field is Faith Robinson.
One guy says stop the clock, the other guy says wind it. You know it's a touchdown, you don't pay attention to the referee.
Well, special teams. Jeriel Chase Paduani leading the special teams for New York. He's got to be happy with some of the kickers he has on his roster. Just really good legs from a lot of them. There's Dumont. Dumont fields the kick, tries to break a tackle, but is met on the far side of the field. A great tackle by the Wolves to stop that one, and it will be a first down for the Renegades to start their first drive of the second quarter. Paduani, also the D-line coach for the Wolves, did a really good job forcing the interception from Jackie Lane. to give New York that last possession, which carried over to the second quarter. 1st and 10. Another handoff inside. And Falkowski picks up about 9 yards. Will be 2nd and 1 coming up after the pickup of 9 from Falkowski. So again, we've seen a mix of running backs here for the Renegades, whether it's Ruth Mata, Latoya Salters, or now Katie Falkowski. Lane again. Another handoff to Falkowski. Falkowski runs right into the body of Faith Robinson, and Robinson with the tackle. But Katie Falkowski picks up about 15 yards and the first down here for the Renegades.
For a Boston Renegades first down.
Another snap right to Lane. Gives it off to Mata. Mata now is going to pick up a couple of yards here. Picks up about 8 yards on the handoff. So Ruth Mata and Katie Falkowski utilizing their speed to break through. A 27-7 lead for Boston, and now the Renegades trying to respond after New York picked up their first touchdown to start the second quarter. Lane looking much better here. Cool, calm, and collected after throwing that interception. This time finds Dumont on the inside route, and Kashani Dumont is going to pick up the first down.
That is good for another Boston Renegades first down.
Now Boston trying to go quickly inside the red zone. Mata, Dumont, and Barden here on the near side. Empty for Lane. She drops back. Looking through the middle for Dumont. Had to readjust, and Dumont trying to spin down to the 5-yard line. Picks up maybe that extra inch. So second down coming up here for the Renegades. Good job mixing up the offense here for the Boston Renegades. Looks like that was enough for the first down. So 1st and goal for Boston here inside the 10. New York has to take a timeout. They were trying to get subs out there.
Timeout for New York.
Renegades were going quick here on this drive, and it pays dividends as now New York forced to use a timeout with 9:27 remaining here in the second quarter. We'll step aside with the Boston Renegades leading 27-7 here in Revere.
To our corporate sponsors, Family Dinner. If you haven't had Family Dinner, I highly recommend it. Today, as a matter of fact, I made chive blossom butter. You say, Schwartzy's, how does one... Well, never mind. I'll tell you that later. Anyway, we also like to thank Ward Construction, Trillium Asset Management, and iCapital. As always, we wouldn't be here without our corporate sponsors, so thank you so much. And of course, while you're getting a nice frosty beverage, don't forget to stop by the merch table. If you want to look like a Boston Renegade, well, you can if you pick up some awesome merch. T-shirts, tank tops, hats, bucket hats, and, for the wintertime when it gets cold, or, possibly tomorrow.
Back after the timeout here at Harry Della Russo Stadium. 9:27 remaining in the second quarter. Fake handoff inside. Dumont looks for a lane. Dumont's going to get a touchdown. Kashani Dumont gets in on the touchdown fun here in Revere. Renegades lead 33-7. Kashani Dumont becomes the 5th touchdown scorer here for the Renegades on the day, joining Stephanie Pasquale, Ruth Mata, Adrian Smith, and Kylie O'Connor-Harrow. 5 different touchdown scorers for Boston, and they are trying to make it 34-0 pending this extra point here from Barden. Kick is up and good.
And Barton's kick is good. Get ready for the boom.
34-7 here for the Renegades. A response after New York put some points on the board. And again, it was trying to stop the bleeding against St. Louis. Boston made it a close game there in the second half. But a much different looking defense here in Revere than we saw down in St. Louis from this Renegades team. They are playing with confidence. They are playing loose. And this is the Boston Renegades team that went on that 42 win streak. Now, the previous long win streak in the WFA was 21 from the St. Louis Slam, so Boston doubling that. The former Boston Militia were tied for the all-time lead in wins with 21 there with St. Louis. And those 42 from the Renegades literally take both those teams from St. Louis from 2009 to 2010 and the Militia from 2011 to 2012. And that would accumulate to the 42 the Boston Renegades won from 2018 to 2024. Here's an opportunity on the kick return. Great lane opens up here on the near side for Amani Thompson, but she steps out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, maybe the 46-yard line.
Good return. Looks like New York will start off in Boston.
So good field position for New York. 9:17 remaining. And it will be 1st and 10
They'll start off on their own 46
from the 46. Ayala, again, as the game has progressed, has gotten more confident there at the quarterback position for New York. She's continued to develop all season long, looked good in that first game against Detroit, couldn't find the offense against Pittsburgh, but now Ayala looking to scramble again and will run for a couple of yards on the scramble. It's been one thing that's really hurt the Renegades is when they've faced these dual threat quarterbacks that can really hurt you with the arm and the legs. And Ayala looked like she wanted to throw a lot there in the first quarter, forced a couple of throws, had some really good throws that were just dropped by her receivers, but now is mixing up the scrambling and the passing, and it's forcing Boston to guess on which one is coming. And so far, it's given the Renegades some troubles here in the second quarter. Looks like we do have an injured player out on the field. So it will be a 3rd down coming up from the 50-yard line. The athletic staff will come out and attend to the injured player out there for New York. Fabian Alessandro trying to get some words in there with the umpires. Now he will head back to the sideline. Boston will use this opportunity to gather the troops here on the near sideline. New York will huddle up on the far sideline. Well, we told you it's a New York team that follows the New York Sharks, who finished their year back in 2018 as Division II champs in the WFA. That season, they took on the Boston Renegades, lost to Boston 21-0. Ended up winning the conference championship against the Tampa Bay Inferno, made it all the way to the championship and took on the Minnesota Vixen back in July of 2018. New York eked out a victory. It was 27-21 in the championship, but this is a New York program that continues to make a name for itself in the WFA and across women's tackle football. New York continues to add teams, and with the growing popularity of women's tackle football, we see more and more programs coming out of the great state of New York. Looks like the injured player was Danielle Ayala. Might have been Ayala who, actually it might.
Helped off the field.
So Ayala being helped to the sideline, and that's a big blow to this New York offense that was moving so well here in the second quarter with Ayala under the helm. So now New York looks like they'll probably go with Outlaw here at the quarterback position. So Nehemiah Outlaw looks like she will replace Ayala. Tiara Howard on the right side. Outlaw in the emergency quarterback position. Handoff inside for Howard, and she's tackled immediately after giving maybe a yard there on the play.
Outlaw hands off to Howard.
So Danielle Fournier in on the tackle, and it looks like New York is
Short yardage on the play.
going to go for the punt.
Fourth down and 6.
Well, if Ayala can't return to this game, that will be a devastating blow for this New York offense. Parada back out there to kick. It will be her third punt of the day. Parada trying to, looks like New York still short a player, and another timeout. This one, a self-inflicted wound for the Wolves, as it looked like New York was short a player out there on special teams.
Shout out to our Boston Renegades family. If you don't know Ben Brown, you should. Ben would like to give a special shout out to his daughter Tracy Brown, who won. Yes, let's give a
Ben Brown being announced here at Harry Della Russo Stadium, does everything around the Renegades franchise. His daughter winning a state title in the shot put, getting a standing ovation here at Harry Della Russo Stadium. Big congratulations to her. Such a great accomplishment, well deserving for the work that she's put in from middle school now to high school. And this one bounces towards O'Connor Harrell. She decides not to play it, and it will be fielded at the 15-yard line.
Ball down by number 18,
Maybe 16. They
So not only did she
place
do
it
her,
right at the 16. So 1st and 10 coming up from the 16-yard line.
I think I might have said that, but she also came in 4th in discus, and on the 410 relay team that she was
So
on,
be the New
they
York
won
Wolves
with a total
on
of
defense, the Renegades on offense.
Well done, Tracy Brown.
Looked like Outlaw was on the sideline, still taking up some warm-up throws for the Wolves. Boston will send the offense out with Meg McFadden as the quarterback. Ruth Mata to her left. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff inside to Mata. Mata gets met by a tackler, now breaks the tackle. Mata now has a lane, inside, outside. Mata weaves her way through and gets taken down at about the 35-yard line.
22, Ruth Mata.
So Mata
Looks like she's eventually taken
picks
down
up about 15 yards there for the first down here for the Renegades.
But that was good for Boston
It's actually going to be a gain of
Renegades.
20 yards on the rush for Mata. Ball now on the 36. Pasquale in motion. McFadden goes to Pasquale on the outside. Screen is set. Good block there by Smith. Now Pasquale trying to use the strength there to break another tackle. She's spun around, stays in bounds, and now forced out of bounds on the tackle there by Jarvis. So Pasquale refused to go down
That is good for another
until Jarvis
Boston
came by to
Renegades
help out.
first down.
34-7 with 6:35 remaining. 1st and 10 for the Renegades. Now on the Wolves side of the field. McFadden calls for it. Inside handoff. Dumont now taken down by the shoes. Good tackle by Brown.
Number 4, Kishani Dumont.
Nandi Brown with a interception. Now picks up a tackle. Now up to about 4 tackles here today as Brown was really involved there in the first quarter. Dumont resets at the line. McFadden calls for the snap. Another handoff inside for Mata. Mata follows her blockers. Good block in front from Pasquale. That opened up a lane for Mata, and Mata picks up the first down. Little extracurricular after, but Pasquale and Mata just led the cavalry forward here for the Renegades. Mata will check out here to the near sideline. Katie Falkowski checks in. Falkowski will set up on the right side. Barden and Dumont, the receivers on the right. Adrian Smith on the left. This is towards Barden. I think Barden might have lost that one in the sun. Just kind of broke towards the pass late. And Barden couldn't hold on. So 2nd down coming up.
Still 2nd
Kyle Copeland, the defensive coordinator here for the New York Wolves, has had his hands full early on here against Boston. McFadden got the defense to jump, and it looks like the offense moved first. So the Renegades, a little hesitation there. They'll give 5 yards up, 2nd and 15 coming up. A good job resetting on the defensive line there for the Wolves.
Backs them up another 5 yards, 2nd and 15.
Anita DeSantis checks out. She makes her way to that far sideline for New York. McFadden drops back, surveys the field, looks downfield, trying to connect with the receiver. Oh, what a catch for Stephanie Pasquale!
Pass complete to number 3, Stephanie Pasquale.
Some sticky icky on those gloves from Stephanie Pasquale.
Another Boston Renegades first down.
Through contact, reaches up and still makes the play. First down for the Renegades. 1st and goal for Boston. Polkowski in motion. Handoff inside for Pasquale, and why not? After that catch, reward Pasquale with the touchdown, and she gets number 2 today. Boston leads 40-7. What a catch from Stephanie Pasquale. Throw that on the Sports Center top 10 nominees as she finds that one through traffic and then caps it off with a rushing touchdown to put Boston on top 40-7. Barden back to kick. Extra point is up and good.
Barden's kick is good.
So Maggie Barden, another good extra point.
This one goes out to you, Peanut Butter.
4:49 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. It's been all Boston, 41-7. Pasquale leads the team with 2 touchdowns. She started off the game with a great touchdown to put Boston on top 6-0. The Renegades have not looked back since. A Danielle Ayala touchdown to start the 2nd quarter put New York on the board, but back-to-back touchdowns now for the Renegades have increased their lead to 41-7. Special teams get out there for the kickoff. You know, the good thing for New York is they have the legendary Karen Mulligan as the quarterback's coach, and if you want anybody talking to you about throwing balls and reading defenses, Karen Mulligan was one of the best. So we'll see how the offense looks for New York after this kickoff. Boston leading 41-7, 4:49 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. This one bounced, now fielded to the near side for Amani Thompson. Thompson trying to break a tackle, is taken down on the outside. Kara Guy Lunis.
32, Kara Guy Lunis.
It looks like Jocelyn Forrest is the Renegade down at about the 20-yard line. Forrest was trying to make a play there on Amani Thompson. Looked like she just got caught up with the grass, but she'll be attended to by the athletic trainer here for the Renegades. Coaching staff also making their way out there to make sure she's all right. It's been a beautiful start to our game here today in Revere, Massachusetts. Temperatures reaching as high as 77, currently 73 degrees as the sun starts to set. Finally getting some good weekend weather here in the Boston area. It felt like all of April and most of May you were getting a lot of rain over the weekends, and now Summer finally making its way through. Forrest now being helped up here by the athletic trainer. Forrest will get some teammates to come out and help her. So not what you want to see from the Renegades. But Forrest will make her way to the sideline. Well, defense that's been so stout so far today with Darcy Leslie, Kara Guy-Lunis, and plenty of others really rising to the occasion. They'll have to replace the always great Forrest as she's being helped to the sideline. So it will be a 1st and 10 coming up for the Wolves. Taking the snap is Outlaw. Outlaw with the completion to the far side, and it's caught for a couple of yards. It's going to be 2nd down and maybe 7 coming up here for New York. Montalvo, another great reception. And Montalvo, after that fumble towards the end of the first quarter, has really done a great job securing the catch. So Outlaw again. Calls for the snap. Looks through the middle, has a hole. Now rushes for, oh, it pops out. Fumble, and it's recovered by the Renegades. Second fumble recovery for the Renegades as Outlaw had that one popped out as she tried to scramble through the middle. Another turnover for the Wolves. This will be 1st and 10 for the Renegades coming up from the 36-yard line. So after the opening touchdown to start the quarter from Danielle Ayala, it's been a punt and now a fumble for the Wolves. 1st and 10 for Boston. Barden running through. This one's handed off inside for Falkowski. And now Katie Falkowski picks up a 1st down.
And off to number 20, Relentless Falkowski.
While we have this opportunity, I want to thank our friend, backseat coach, for all the wonderful information and statistics of the Boston Renegades winning streak. Helped put together so many of those stats and accumulated all those numbers that we were able to share with you throughout the broadcast, and we'll continue to share with you throughout the broadcast. Such a legendary streak from the Boston Renegades, and a big shout out to the St. Louis Slam, who after losing the championship last year to the Renegades got a little redemption, snapping their 42-game win streak, and maybe these two teams on another collision course to meet in the championship. St. Louis continues to add to their firepower. It's a Slam team that is now 4-0 on the year. They picked up wins against the Columbus Chaos, a really close victory against the Minnesota Vixen. That should be a good one at the end of the year on June 15th between the Slam and the Vixen in the rematch. This one passed, caught by Barden. Barden escapes the pressure and now is taken down inside the 10-yard line. That was a 41-40 victory for St. Louis over Minnesota. They followed that up with a 41-0 win over Derby City before defeating the Renegades. They'll have the Dallas Elite and then the Minnesota Vixen to close out the season. But those two teams should be fun to watch. So 1st and goal for the Renegades. McFadden. Inside handoff, taken by Falkowski. Falkowski trying to chug along, but she's taken down inside the 5-yard line. Well, Katie Falkowski continues to impress this season. She's worked her way up the depth charts here for the running backs. With Tuti Kawusin and Ruth Mata last year, she found a way, had some breakout runs, and now this year one of the lead backs for Boston. Another handoff to Falkowski. Has to push through, and she will get over the line. A Renegades touchdown from Katie Falkowski. And Boston now just running away with this one against New York. 47-7 as Katie Falkowski picks up her first touchdown of the day. Falkowski, her 4th touchdown of the season. So Pasquale, Mata, Smith, O'Connor, Harrell, Dumont, and now Katie Falkowski.
Ready for that boom.
Barden makes it 48-7 here in the second quarter with 2:24 remaining. So 3 punts for the Wolves, 2 fumbles here in the first half. Have really hurt their offensive opportunities, while Boston has been able to capitalize on one of the turnovers.
And don't forget, if you haven't already,
Katie Falkowski punching in that touchdown after the outlaw fumble. When Montalvo fumbled back in the first quarter, Jackie Lane threw an interception to give it right back to New York. So they were able to escape without giving up any points on that turnover. Really, maybe the turning point here in this game is Danielle Ayala leaving on that second drive of the second quarter after being hurt on the play. We have not seen Ayala return as quarterback. It's been Outlaw there replacing Danielle Ayala. Boston gets set here for the kickoff. 48-7 the lead late in the second quarter. Barden kicks it off to the near sideline, and this one's going to take a Renegades unfortunate bounce into out of bounds. Looked like it was going to stay inbound, but it's going to move this one up for the Wolves. So it'll be 1st and 10 coming up from New York from the 35-yard line.
The New York Wolves will start off on their own 35-yard line.
So Barden now on the season, 20 of 22 on the extra points.
Apologies, looks like they're starting off on their own 40.
So it looks like they'll move it up to the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Outlaw again, the quarterback here for the Wolves. And I think they'll resend it back to the 35. Yeah, I believe that's, so they were correct originally at the 35-yard line.
The Wolves will be starting off at their 35.
Moved it up to the 40, and it looks like the officials now will have to talk about it. Maybe some confusion with where the placement should be, but it looked like it was accurate at the 35 after it was kicked out of bounds, so that's where we'll start. Referee gives us the go to start, and 1st and 10 from the 35. Nehemiah Outlaw got rid of it, but just didn't have enough on it to get it to Thompson. So Deanna Walsh sends the pressure.
Brings up 2nd down and
Thompson just broke a little too late to see the pressure that Outlaw was under. And the throw falls short here on the near sideline. Howard again near Outlaw. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Outlaw calls for the snap. Looks to the right side. Darcy Leslie with a huge tackle.
Outlaw's pass was completely
Parada, though, held on.
Immediately set.
Both sidelines are amped up right now. New York for Parada's catch and Boston for Darcy Leslie's hit. Shout out to both those players for both those plays. Outlaw, look, surveys, oh, nice throw, but just overthrew everybody. Outlaw's pass, probably the best we've seen from Outlaw. But just miscommunication with her receivers, and now we are going to see another punt from the Wolves. Parada trying to count the number of players out there. New York had to take a timeout the last time they were out there for a punt. All numbers are good. Parada trying to find an angle here. Punt team has been solid for the Wolves. Some pressure. Almost got there. Fournier. And now O'Connor Harrell. O'Connor Harrell with the lane down the sideline. Cuts it back inside and is taken down inside the 30-yard line. How about the wheels on Kylie O'Connor Harrell?
With the kick return.
So this will be good field position with 1:33 remaining in the second quarter for the Renegades. Meg McFadden back under center for the Renegades. She'll go back in shotgun formation, empty set. There's going to be a wide receiver screen to the left side for Ruth Mata. Mata weaving her way through, dangles, and now Mata in for the touchdown.
McFadden's pass complete to number 22, Ruth Mata, who scrambles in for a touchdown. Get ready for the boom.
I see what they didn't do. They should have stopped the play because the girl wasn't all the way up.
Mata, another touchdown here today, and now she's up to 4 on the season. So Barden back out there for the extra point. Mata so shifty in her movements. Found her way through a couple of would-be tacklers and has put Boston up 54-7. Barden's kick is up and good.
And Barden's kick is good. Get ready for that boom.
55-7. Renegades. Just no response here from the Wolves. Well, we told you about Adrian Smith and her appearance on WBUR here this week. Also a great article written on BostonRenegadesFootball.com by Julian Callahome. And based on a Renegades response following the loss to St. Louis, and it does a really good job chronicling the story of John Johnson and some of the captains and what they went through back in 2018 when they faced the adversity of losing 2 games that season and ended up winning the WFA championship back in 2018 to start their 5-year run. But go check that one out. It's called Bent But Never Broken. And it's by Julianne Callahome on BostonRenegadesFootball.com. And New York fans, we see you. Make sure you check out NewYorkWolves.com for the latest information, news, stats, and more for your New York Wolves. Good job by Imani Thompson. Pick up some yardage there on the kickoff. 1:20 remaining for the Wolves to work with here in the second quarter.
The Wolves will be starting off at their own 40-yard line.
Be 1st and 10 coming up for New York. So Outlaw will remain the quarterback here for the Wolves. Howard, the running back. Thompson on the near side. Looks like she's side by side with Capardi. Perota on the far side. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Outlaw fumbles the snap, and it's jumped on. I don't know if Outlaw was able to beat Swanson there, but it looks like she was able to corral it.
Fumble snap. Ball recovered by number 13, Outlaw.
Lisa Swanson put the pressure.
Loss on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 13.
Now Outlaw trying to get the call. We'll take a peek at her wrist. Relay the information there to Howard. 2nd and 13. Clock is running. Outlaw rushed. Gets that one over the hands on the near side. It was Jules Asperti. Asperti looked like she was coming around for a wide receiver screen, but the pass goes right between the hands. 1-2 Wolves taking on the 2-1 Boston Renegades. 3rd and 13. We'll see if Boston elects to send some pressure here against Outlaw.
Sometimes they mess you up.
Thompson, the lone receiver on the near side. Howard, the running back. Going to provide some support to give Outlaw some time, and that one just lost. Could have been Capardi. It is Capardi there. Tried to turn around to make the catch. Just a couple of Renegades there to prevent her from making that play, and now it's going to be another punt coming up for the New York Wolves. So a touchdown from Ruth Mata has made it 55-7. Looks like New York's going to go 3 and out here as Parada tries to count to make sure the special teams is set. Has to send out one more player. Making the late rush is Karen Mulligan. Good snap to Parada, but it's blocked. Fournier gets there and now jumps on it. Danielle Fournier.
Danielle Baby Fournier, who also recovers the ball, but we have a Wolf down.
So Fournier was close the last time there was a punt. This time gets all of it and recovers it herself. There is an injured New York Wolves player out on the field. New York sideline will take a knee. Boston will huddle up here on the near sideline. 29 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Yeah. That's typical though. Teams who come in and play Renegades are physically prepared.
So we'll see who the injured player is out on the field. We'll get you a number once we get the opportunity. But a couple of injuries here for New York has hurt an already depleted roster coming into today's game. They didn't have their full roster making the trip to Boston. And with Danielle Ayala already out of this game, it's another player down on the field for New York. 55-7 the lead for Boston. Here in the second quarter, it's been all Renegades. 2 touchdowns for Stephanie Pasquale, 2 touchdowns for Ruth Mata. The rushing game leading the charge here for Boston. The defense pitched a shutout through the first quarter. Danielle Ayala with a rushing touchdown for New York was able to end the shutout to start the second quarter. But Kashani Dumont, Pasquale, Katie Falkowski, and Ruth Mata with touchdowns here in the second have blown it open for Boston. Good to see the injured player for New York back out on her feet, making her way to the sideline. It looks like that might be Jarvis getting some support from Nandi Brown and Leo. So it is Jarvis. Venica Jarvis, the defensive line woman. Looks like she's all right now, that she's working her way back and doesn't really need assistance to the sideline. So that's a good sign there for New York.
Boston will start off at the 32-yard line.
So be 1st and 10 for the Renegades. 29 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. McFadden, handoff, now reverse. Barden with McFadden leading the charge. Oh, McFadden had a look behind, but there goes Barden, and no one's catching Barden.
The ref is out the reverse, and Maggie
A
Barden
reverse for Maggie Barden.
getting ready for the booth.
And 61-7, Boston increases their lead. Well, on that play, Meg McFadden looked back for Maggie Barden, and Barden was already surpassing McFadden. She had to turn on the Jets, but no one was catching Maggie Barden. And Barden, believe that's her first touchdown of the year for Maggie Barden. So welcome to the touchdown club for the 2024 Boston Renegades, Maggie Barden.
And Maggie Barden not only scored the touchdown, but got the PAT.
So Barden with the touchdown and the extra point makes it 62-7. And we saw Boston get up to 80 points last year against DC. 62 points in the first half for the Boston Renegades, and what a response. You know, sometimes when you face adversity, you come back 10 times as strong, and that's exactly what the Renegades are doing now here against New York. After that loss against St. Louis, they are taking out their frustrations here against the New York Wolves. "19 seconds remain here in the first half. Renegades get ready for the kickoff. Thompson back there to receive. Barden squibs this one through, and again it bounces off, but the Wolves are there to recover. So Barden, with some of these squib kicks, have hit right off the receiving team in New York. That time, able to jump on it was Alcantara. It'll be 1st and 10, coming up from the 48-yard line. So Barden with her first touchdown reception or rush of the season on the wide receiver reverse increases the lead, and New York will just head to the locker room here down 62-7. 2 touchdowns in the first half from Ruth Mata, 2 touchdowns from Stephanie Pasquale, and the Boston Renegades have routed the New York Wolves in the first half, 62-7. We'll step aside here for halftime, hear from head coach John Johnson and the Renegades coaching staff. Following today's game, it has to be a pretty good start to this one for the Renegades. We'll step aside here in Rivera, 62-7. Boston leads New York.
watch me the first half, he ran the second half. So, keep your finger right here, but don't stop. Right to.
We welcome you back to Harry Della Russo Stadium here in Revere, Massachusetts. As we get underway for the second half, a 62-7 lead for the Boston Renegades, led by 2 touchdowns from Stephanie Pasquale and Ruth Mata in the first half. It's been all Boston here in this matchup against 2 Boston and New York teams. A long-time rivalry between the 2 cities. These 2 teams have faced off since these 2 programs were the Boston Militia and the New York Sharks. Women's tackle football, a long history here in New England, including in Connecticut, up in Maine. And now Boston has already established themselves as the perennial power across the Women's Football Alliance. 5-time national champs dating back to 2018. Here's LaToya Salters on 1st and 10, picking up about 7 yards on the carry.
Scrambles ahead for, we'll say, 7 yards. Brings us
Well, Vern Crawford has really mixed in a ton of plays here for the Renegades offense early on in the first half, whether it's reverses, wide receiver screens, great passing plays for Meg McFadden, and obviously the running plays have always worked for the Renegades. Great catch there from Barden.
Lane's pass complete to number 88.
So Jackie Lane completes that one to Barden. Barden picking up her first touchdown of the season late in that second quarter. Was able to make it 62-7 for the Renegades. So 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line for the Renegades. Jackie Lane with Salters to the left. Hands it off to Salters. Salters sees a lane, picks up the blocking in front, and then taken down after picking up the first down. So a couple of good blocks there for Salters, and she picks up the first down here for the Renegades.
And the Wolf is up.
Ashley Moody Astwood bouncing right back up after the tackle.
Who was back up was number 32, Nicole Muccio, who also assisted with that tackle.
Another first down play here for the Renegades. Lane fakes the handoff, throws it near side for Smith, and Adrian Smith will hold on after being wrapped up as soon as she made the catch. Looked like Faith Robinson on the tackle. So 2nd and 5 coming up for the Renegades. Lane looking more comfortable here on this drive through an interception to end the first quarter. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hand off to Salters. Salters with some blockers in front. Salters finds a hole and now is taken down. Thought she could have gone back out to the outside to maybe get the touchdown, but wanted to break through a couple of tacklers and was taken down there. So a first down coming up. Looks like a last-minute sub coming out.
Stop it.
So 11:40 here in the third quarter. And Salters will remain the running back out there. Snap taken. Fakes the handoff. Lane looking for the touchdown pass. Broken up. Great extension from Yanni Miller. Looking for Stephanie Pasquale.
Number 65, Harmony Leo.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10 coming up. Lane looked like she wanted to go the whole way to Pasquale. This time hands it off to Salters. Salters trying to follow the blockers in front. Spun around, stays on her feet. Salters now trying to push through, but a good job there by the Wolves to force her backwards to stop the momentum there of LaToya Salters. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Renegades. 7-yard pickup for LaToya Salters. Paige Myatt checks in. Smith is wide open on the left side, but they're going to hand it off to Salters, and she bounces off for the touchdown. Renegades touchdown here in the third. Latoya Salters picks up the rushing touchdown here for Boston, and for Salters, that is her second touchdown on the season. Now 68-7. Snap is good, kick is up, and good from Maggie Barden. So Barden picks up another good kick here on the extra points. It's only missed one, and that one was blocked. It came on the second touchdown of the day when Ruth Mata scored. The Wolves were able to break through the special teams. Well, Cliff Ashley has done a phenomenal job with the Boston Renegades in his time as the special teams coordinator. Some really good possession battles, and with Maggie Barden and her leg, he has been able to utilize it in many ways, whether it's sending the kick downfield or trying to utilize the squib. She's also been impressive on the onside kick. So Barden, a very versatile kicker, along with the speed and strength mixed in with that special teams unit. Cliff Ashley, an embarrassment of riches sometimes there on the special teams unit. 69-7 the lead for the Boston Renegades with 8:30 remaining here in the third quarter. New York spent their halftime break together on the far sideline. A lot of communication there, a lot of head nodding and coaching trying to get that message across. Here's a great job on the tackle. This is on Yanni Miller. It's actually going to be 65. Leo. So Christina Leo, the one who handles that one and gets a couple of yards on the kick return. We'll get it back out to the 31-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 31. We told you for Boston, they were able to score 82 points on the DC Divas just a season ago. Adjustments on the defensive line here for the Renegades. Off the hands of Outlaw. It's jumped on, and it's a fumble recovery for the Renegades. Deanna Walsh. It is Deanna Walsh. She recovers the fumble. Another fumble recovery here for the Boston Renegades, and another turnover for the New York Wolves. So the Renegades force yet another turnover. Danielle Fournier with a blocked punt. Montalvo had the fumble in the first quarter. Outlaw had a fumble her first in the second, and now the Outlaw fumble gives Boston possession inside the 30, and there's Pasquale. Stephanie Pasquale trying to break a tackle and gets tackled inside the 10-yard line. A burst of speed for Stephanie Pasquale, and she is, as we talked about, one of those captains that was very upset with the loss against St. Louis, wanted to get back to the drawing board and get Boston back to their winning ways, and she has carried that load here today with 2 touchdowns already, 8 to lead the team so far this season. And what hasn't Stephanie Pasquale done this year for the Boston Renegades? So Jackie Lane with Mata to the right. Dumont and Barden, the receivers on the right. Barden in the slot. Lane looks to the left, now looks to the right. Facing some trouble. Lane trying to rush for an opportunity, but gets taken out of bounds. Good
And the
tackle
quarterback keeper
on the near sideline.
taken out of bounds. Brings up second down.
Looked like Faith Robinson along with Anita DeSantis. Good to see Anita back out there. Anita left the game earlier, a little hobbled, but DeSantis able to work her way back into the lineup.
Ball on the 8.
So second down for the Renegades. Lane fakes the handoff. Quick throw to Dumont on the near side. Oh, what a move by Dumont! Avoids the tackler and dives forward for the touchdown!
Kashani Dumont. That's a touchdown.
Kashani Dumont just waves goodbye to the cornerback and makes her way to the end zone for the touchdown. And 75-7 the lead for Boston. So Dumont picks up her second touchdown of the day.
Stopping the clock. They told us much was an injury.
You stop it.
Go ahead.
Oh, there is an injury, yeah. There is an injured player on the field. 4-4-1.
So New York attending to the injured player here on the near sideline. That's Asia Strickland.
Yeah, she's like over on this side.
So Strickland looked like it might be
She was hard to see.
working on her calf there. So hopefully it's just a hydration, maybe just a pulled muscle there, and she'll be all right.
Yes.
Could you pick the food stand one more time?
Yeah.
For the run clock?
Well, while we have this opportunity, I want to shout out our staff and volunteers, and especially our sponsors, Family Diner, Ward Construction, Trillium Asset Management, and iCapital. Want a big shout out to our Renegades Militia, Byron Bosk, Andy Sheehan, Jim McLean, Dan Higgins, and Dwight Dixon.
And of course, if you are looking for
Our game today started with a bang.
don't forget to visit the
Couple of big plays from the Renegades in the first quarter led them to a 27-0 lead. New York looked well on their way to a comeback after Danielle Ayala got comfortable there under center. Got a touchdown to start the second quarter to make it 27-7. But the Boston Renegades, with back-to-back touchdowns from Dumont and Stephanie Pasquale, made it 41-7. An outlaw fumble gave Boston possession back, and Katie Falkowski made the Wolves pay with a rushing touchdown to make it 48-7. Mata and Maggie Barden with touchdowns to end the second quarter increased the lead for Boston to 62-7. And now a pair of touchdowns here in the third for the Renegades from Salters and Kashani Dumont have made it 75-7. Pending the extra point here from Barden. Good to see Strickland back out on her feet. 4:31 remaining in the third. It's a New York team that will compete. They will learn their lessons from the losses here as they elevate to the pro division. What you love to see is there's no quit. Entire sideline on the far side for New York, still on their feet, still cheering on their teammates, still trying to relay those calls from the sideline to the field, and you just love to see it. It's a competitive team from New York that's always been competitive in whatever division they were in, whether it's Division II, they were used to be in Division III, and now working their way up to be one of the top competing teams in the Women's Football Alliance.
While you're visiting the concession stand, don't forget to stop by the merch stand. Make sure you get your Renegades gear today. Check out our merch table near the concession stand to get your sweatshirts, hats, and much, much more. New items arrive every week.
Don't forget, fans, to check out BostonRenegadesFootball.com for your merchandise, latest news, information, and notes from the Boston Renegades. Stay up to date with all of your WFA championship information on BostonRenegadesFootball.com. So kickoff is set here for the Renegades, and another booming squib off the hands again. But this time it's taken. A great move from Christina Leo, and she will gather that one. It gets taken out at the 43, and we told you that New York Wolves sideline has been engaged all game long, and they will give Leo a nice shower as she heads back to the sideline.
And that's where the New York Wolves will start their offense.
So be 1st and 10 coming up from New York after the fumble from Outlaw. Second fumble from Outlaw on the game. Looks for a pass here near side. It's caught. Spinning away from some trouble there was Montalvo, and now we'll pick up about 5 yards on the completion.
Brianna Montalvo taken down with number 53. Deanna Walsh.
So be 2nd down from the 48-yard line for New York.
Gain of roughly 5 on the play, brings up 2nd down and 5.
Outlaw again in for the injured Danielle Ayala. Outlaw tries to loft one over the head of Montalvo. Had her open, just the pass came a little too early. I think Outlaw might have thought she had some pressure coming, but ends up just overthrowing Montalvo there. Capardi now switches to the far side. When the offensive line has been able to give Outlaw some time, she's been able to find her receivers. Couple of drop passes, couple of overthrows, but getting a little more comfortable there in the pocket. Outlaw steps back, some pressure now from Fournier. Bounces off, but can't avoid the strength. Spins away from Kaluma, and now will pick up maybe a yard. Almost Eli Manning-esque if she was able to get the pass downfield, but instead was taken out on the far sideline.
But finally taken down by
Maybe loses a yard or two on the play.
Deanna Walsh, as she was helped out by number 24, Brianna Gallo.
They're going to change the.
That brings up 4th down.
So 4th and 5. We'll see if New York will take the snap or if we'll go to the end of the quarter. Looks like New York will be all right going to the end of the quarter with a 76-7 deficit. And we will step aside here in Revere with the Boston Renegades leading 76-7. 15 more minutes on the clock before the end of this one. Another great performance from Kashani Duman as she picks up a touchdown here in the 3rd quarter to increase the lead for Boston. And now we'll have the 4th quarter coming up here on Revere TV. We'll step aside momentarily for the start of the 4th.
Don't stop it.
We've got timeout, New York.
We are back for the 4th quarter, and to start the 4th, New York will utilize a timeout on the far side.
Would like to welcome all New England women's football alumni, and we ask, if you don't mind, to please stand if you're
Well,
recognized.
Danielle Ayala with the lone touchdown for the Wolves.
And thank you for your continued support
Boston,
of the Boston Renegades and the sport of
a
women's
great
football. Without our
turnaround
alumni,
game
we
here
wouldn't be
against New York, able to score 76 points so far after being stuck to 27 against St. Louis. Not that 27's a bad number, but wasn't enough to get past the St. Louis Slam. And in their game following, they have been able to turn it around and complete 180. This one, Leslie saw the pass coming to Thompson.
Pass is headed for number 5.
So that's going to turn the ball over on 4th down.
Thompson, but,
First down coming up
turnover on down.
for the Renegades.
Boston ball.
So the Renegades back to the offensive side.
Goes out to number 32.
First and 10 coming up for the Renegades. Lane with the handoff. Gives it across, and now that's taken, almost taken away there on the tackle, but Salters holds on. Just short of a first down, maybe gains 8 yards on the play, so 2nd and 2 coming up. Salters has really run well here today, has had great vision as she runs right through the bodies, does not look for open space. She's okay utilizing her strength, and there she goes again with a hole. Salters hit hard, but holds on again. Nandi Brown was trying to force a fumble there, but Salters says not today. First down from Salters. How about the game from Nandi Brown? She picks up the interception in the first quarter on Jackie Lane, and the leading tackler for the New York Wolves so far here in this game. First and 10. Lane going to send Salters to the left side. 3 receivers on the right. Adrian Smith on the left. Quick snap, has to throw it away to Myatt. Myatt able to catch it, has some blockers in front, and there's a late flag coming in. Paige Myatt with the reception, her first of the game. Looks like this will be a penalty against Boston. So the Renegades forced back on the reception there from Myatt, so all for naught. And Boston with a penalty. I'll say it up here in the booth. I think Shortsy jinxed everybody. Said there were no penalties going on in this game, and there you go. There's a flag, so the good old broadcast booth jinx well in effect. So it'll be 1st and 20 coming up for the Renegades. Lane hands it off inside. Salters again just trying to make up the yardage that they lost on the penalty, and she does. Well, how about that run from Latoya Salters? Again, a great carry.
10 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
Well, Adrian Smith on the near side has been marked by Christina Leo. Has not given Smith much space since that touchdown in the first quarter. Another handoff inside for Salters. Salters has a hole. Salters stiff arms a defender and now is taken down inside the 20-yard line. There goes Leo on the tackle.
Handoff once again to number 28, Latoya Salters. And with that run, it's another Boston Renegades
First down coming up for the Renegades with less than 10 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Lane in shotgun formation. Send Salters in motion. Empty backfield now for Jackie Lane. Looks quickly through the middle. Myatt with the reception, and Myatt with the touchdown!
Touchdown. Get ready for that boom.
Second touchdown of the season for Paige Myatt. Latoya Salters, the decoy. Myatt gets the reception, and it's a touchdown for the Renegades, who now lead it 82-7. Well, Myatt now joins the group with multiple touchdowns on the season, including Adrian Smith, Latoya Salters, Kashani Dumont, Ruth Mata, Spring Gamble, Katie Falkowski, and Stephanie Pasquale, all multiple touchdowns. Now Barden will go back to kick. Kick is up and good. So Maggie Barden
Get ready for the boom.
gets another extra point, and it's 83-7. All Boston here in Revere. Bunch of happy Paige Myatt supporters right in front of our broadcast booth. A good hug there from Kylie O'Connor Harrell.
Is Casey Sublet Marks. Casey Sublet Marks, you are the fan of the game, so please go on down to the gate and meet.
So both teams will get
You can
ready
pick up your
for the
special
kickoff.
weapons. Congratulations.
Well, coaching staff, the whole team has to be impressed with this turnaround after the loss against St. Louis. Defensively, offensively, and special teams, all three phases of the game, Boston has been able to dominate. Now, there are things that, they'll look at film here in this game and try to clean up. A couple of turnovers, Jackie Lane with an interception, a couple of loose balls that ended up on the ground. That game against Alabama looked as complete as they can look. And that 56-6 victory against the Fire. But Boston here in this game has looked the best they have all season long, with Jackie Lane and Meg McFadden leading the charge at quarterback. On the near side, and forced out is Leo.
Kick return by number 65.
Seeing a lot more of Christina Leo here late in the second half.
New York will start off on their own.
Be first and 10 from their own 35-yard line for New York. And it's probably going to be 36 now the way they place it. So 36-yard line, first and 10 for New York. They'll be on the near hash. Boston's just going to drop back. Looks like they'll just send three up front. It'll be Fournier along with Rachel Sullivan. And it looks like Anastasia Bessler as well. And now joining the group is Guy Lunis. Guy Lunis comes in and quickly wraps up Howard. Guy Lunis saw the opening on the near side, filled the void, and now picks up the sack. What a year for Kara Guy Lunis.
Guy Lunis. In on the assist is number 71, the intern, or as her brother likes to
Well,
call
coming
her,
into the day, it was just Danielle Fournier with 3 sacks. The Renegades have gotten a couple of sacks here today. That one,
in case you
a
didn't
big
know,
one
this is
from
the
Guy
intern
Lunis.
Bessler.
Second and 11. Outlaw handles that snap nicely, throws it across to Thompson, and Thompson drops it. Incomplete pass on the far side. Third and 11 coming up.
With some pressure up the middle from number 71, Buttercup.
So it looks like Meg McFadden's day is going to be done, as we've seen a lot of Jackie Lane here in the fourth. She's now on the sideline with her mesh cap. No helmet on, talking to the coaches. Entire Renegades sideline exchanging handshakes, high fives. They knew how important this turnaround game would be, and they have shown out here in Revere. 4:40 remaining in the fourth. Third and 11. Outlaw looks, tosses downfield, almost intercepted, but off the hands at the 50-yard line.
Almost intercepted.
Had it there. Lions with a good chance on it. Shayna Lyons has turned into a great
That brings up fourth down.
defensive back here for the Renegades. Has really been in charge of some of the best receivers on the opposite side and has been able to hold her own. Punt unit back out there for the Wolves. Again, for New York, you've got a lot of great pieces. Hopefully the injury here to Danielle Ayala isn't anything too serious, but Danielle Ayala has shown that she can be a great quarterback in this league. Had a great touchdown there in the second quarter. Really dictated the pace to start that second, and it looked like it could be a back and forth quarter until she was taken out of the game due to injury. Well, we've seen Venica Jarvis as well, as that one's blocked and now taken at the 20-yard line. Renegades with a punt block. Darcy Leslie, Danielle Fournier, they combine. It's the block by Fournier, the recovery from Leslie, and that's the second blocked punt on the day from Danielle Fournier. She has had an eye for the snap on special teams and now has picked up her second blocked punt. Darcy Leslie there to recover it. Inside handoff to Salters. Salters cuts it back outside and now is taken down with 2:35 remaining. Late flag comes in.
We've got a flag on the play.
I'm not sure if that was maybe some words from Jane Crosby to the official. Maybe an unsportsmanlike coming here, or it is going to be unsportsmanlike here to Jane Crosby.
We've got unsportsmanlike conduct against New York.
So an automatic first down, and you can see the referee was allowing her to jaw, and then once she continued to go, the flag came out, and Crosby unable to walk away without being penalized. So it'll be first and goal from the 5-yard line for the Renegades. Lane with Salters to the right. Dumont, the wide receiver, on the right side. Myatt on the left, and that's a handoff to Salters, and she will run straight through. The train gets by, and Salters with the touchdown. Another touchdown for Latoya Salters, her second of the second half. Looks like more flags here as tempers start to rise out on the field. So again, with 1:05 remaining, you don't want to see it in an 89-7 game.
Another unsportsmanlike conduct against New York.
So it's another penalty that will be assessed on the kickoff. If we get to a kickoff, but I don't think we will. 89-7 with Barden set to kick the extra point. Barden's kick is up and good.
And Barden's kick is good.
So Barden, minus the blocked extra point on the second drive of the game, has been near perfect here today. And as the clock winds down here in Boston, that might be the last snap we see. A 90-7 victory for your Boston Renegades here against the New York Wolves. And the Boston Renegades improved to 3-1 on the season. A great bounce back performance for the Renegades after the loss to St. Louis. They pick up another big win here at home. They remain undefeated here at home this season with wins against Alabama and now the New York Wolves. Well, stick around here on Revere TV for interviews with the coaches and thoughts from the Renegades staff here on Revere TV. As always, it has been a pleasure to be with you all game long for our outstanding production crew, our cameramen and women. I'm Luis Sanchez saying so long from Harry Della Russo Stadium, where the final score was the Boston Renegades 90, the New York Wolves 7. Catch this game on replay on YouTube TV. Catch it under Revere TV. Search Boston Renegades. We'll catch you next time here from Harry Della Russo Stadium.
Watch them in person. Bye.